The old mansion had been abandoned for decades, its grandeur and beauty slowly being consumed by the passing of time. Despite its history and intrigue, the house was a place to be avoided, a place where people whispered of dark secrets and unexplained occurrences. As I stepped inside, a chill ran down my spine, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. The air was thick with the scent of decay, and the shadows seemed to writhe and twist on the walls. I began to explore, my footsteps echoing through the empty halls. Each room was a time capsule, filled with the remnants of a life long past. But it was the basement that held the darkest secrets, a place where the walls seemed to bleed with malevolence. As I reached the bottom of the stairs, I heard a faint whisper in my ear. It was a soft, raspy voice, and it seemed to be calling my name. I spun around, but there was no one there. The voice grew louder, more urgent, and I felt a creeping sense of dread. Suddenly, the lights flickered and died, plunging me into darkness. I was trapped, alone and vulnerable. And then, the voice stopped. The silence was oppressive, heavy with anticipation. I knew I had to get out, but my feet seemed rooted to the spot. As I stood there, frozen in fear, I started to feel a strange, creeping sensation on my skin. It was as if something was crawling over me, seeping into my pores. I tried to brush it off, but it only intensified, spreading out my arms and across my chest. Suddenly, the darkness seemed to coalesce into a figure in front of me. Its presence was palpable, a cold, malignant force that seemed to suck the air out of the room. I tried to scream, but my voice was trapped in my throat. The figure began to move closer, its presence suffocating me. I could feel its icy breath on my skin, making my flesh crawl. I raised my hands to defend myself, but they seemed heavy and unresponsive. As the figure loomed over me, I saw its face. It was twisted and distorted, a grotesque parody of human features. The eyes glowed with an otherworldly light, and the mouth was open in a scream of rage. I was paralyzed with fear, unable to move or escape. The figure reached out a bony hand and touched my face, and everything went black. When I came to, I was lying on the floor, my head throbbing with pain. The room was silent and still, the darkness dissipating as the lights flickered back to life. I stumbled to my feet, determined to get out of the mansion and never come back. But as I reached the door, I heard a faint whisper in my ear. "You shouldn't have come here," it said. "Now you'll never leave." I spun around, but there was no one there. The voice seemed to come from all around me, echoing off the walls. I knew then that I was trapped, caught in a web of horrors from which I might never escape. I tried to shake off the feeling of unease, telling myself it was just my imagination playing tricks on me. But the voice seemed to follow me, echoing in my mind as I made my way back through the mansion. As I reached the entrance hall, I saw something that made my blood run cold. The front door was no longer there. In its place was a solid wall, with no sign of a door or even a window. I was trapped. Panic set in as I frantically searched for another way out. But every door I opened led only to more corridors, more rooms, and more dead ends. The voice laughed, a cold, mirthless sound that seemed to come from all around me. "You'll never escape," it said. "You'll never leave this place." I stumbled through the mansion, desperate to find a way out. But every step I took seemed to lead me deeper into the heart of the house. And then, I saw it. A door I had never seen before. It was hidden behind a tattered curtain, and it looked unlike any other door in the mansion. The voice fell silent, as if waiting to see what I would do next. I hesitated for a moment, wondering if I should open the door. But something compelled me to turn the handle and push it open. What I saw on the other side made my heart stop. Story 2. In the year 2256, humanity had colonized several planets in the Milky Way galaxy. The United Earth Government, UEG, had established a program to explore and settle new worlds, and Captain Jackson Lee was one of the most skilled pilots in the program. As he flew his ship, the Aurora, through the depths of space, he received a distress signal from an unknown source. The signal was weak and fragmented, but Jackson's advanced sensors picked it up and alerted him to its presence. He altered his course and headed toward the source of the signal. As he approached, he saw a strange object drifting in space. It was a ship, but unlike any he had ever seen before. It was damaged and seemed to be on the verge of collapse. Jackson brought the Aurora alongside the ship and hailed it. There was no response, so he decided to board the ship and investigate. As Jackson boarded the ship, he was struck by its eerie silence. The air was thick with the scent of smoke and ozone, and the walls were scarred from intense heat. He made his way through the wreckage, his footsteps echoing off the metal hull. Suddenly, he heard a faint hum, and a holographic display flickered to life before him. A distorted image coalesced, showing a humanoid figure with skin like dark glass. "Who are you?" Jackson asked, his hand on the grip of his blaster. Was Archaea," the figure replied, its voice like a dying breath. "My ship, the Erebus, was attacked. We were carrying a cargo of. Archaea's image flickered, and Jackson felt a strange energy surge through the ship. "Of what?" Jackson pressed, his curiosity piqued. Archaea's image steadied, and its eyes seemed to bore into Jackson's soul. "A device of immense power. The Devourer. It consumes entire star systems. We were trying to escape, but..." The image dissolved, leaving Jackson stunned and confused. What was this device? And who would use it to destroy entire star systems? Jackson's mind raced with questions as he explored the ship further. He stumbled upon a damaged console and activated it, revealing a cryptic message scrawled on the screen. "Project Erebus. Devourer. Coordinates 478-9231. Do not trust the architects." Jackson's eyes widened as he realized the magnitude of the situation. He had to find out more about Project Erebus, the Devourer, and the mysterious architects. He downloaded the ship's logs onto his comms device and transmitted them to his ship, the Aurora. As he waited for the data to transfer, he heard a strange noise coming from the depths of the ship. It sounded like footsteps. Jackson's heart raced as he readied his blaster. "Hello," he called out. "Is anyone there?" The footsteps grew louder, and Jackson saw a figure emerge from the shadows. It was a woman with short, spiky hair and a black jumpsuit. She looked like she had been through a war. "Who are you?" Jackson asked, his blaster trained on her. "My name is Lyra," she replied, her eyes fixed on Jackson's weapon. "I'm the only survivor of the Erebus." "And you are?" Jackson lowered his blaster, intrigued. "I'm Captain Jackson Lee. I received your distress signal and came to investigate." Lyra's gaze narrowed. "You're not with the architects, are you?" Jackson frowned. "Architects? I don't know what you're talking about." Lyra's expression softened slightly. "Good. We need to talk." Lyra led Jackson to a hidden chamber deep within the Erebus. The room was filled with ancient artifacts and strange devices that hummed with energy. "This is the heart of the Erebus," Lyra said, her eyes gleaming with determination. "Here lies the secrets of the Devourer." Jackson's eyes widened as Lyra activated a holographic display, revealing the terrifying truth. The Devourer was a weapon of unimaginable power, capable of consuming entire galaxies. "The architects created it," Lyra said, her voice trembling with rage. "They're a secret society that manipulates governments and civilizations to achieve their twisted goals." Jackson's mind reeled as Lyra told him about the architects' plan to use the Devourer to reshape the universe in their image. "We can't let that happen," Jackson said, his jaw clenched in resolve. Together, Jackson and Lyra hatched a plan to destroy the Devourer and bring down the architects. It was a perilous mission, but they were determined to save the universe from destruction. With the Erebus's advanced technology and Jackson's piloting skills, they launched a final assault on the architect's stronghold. The battle was fierce, but in the end, they emerged victorious. The Devourer was destroyed, and the architects were brought to justice. Lyra and Jackson were hailed as heroes, their names etched in history as the saviors of the galaxy. As they stood victorious, Lyra turned to Jackson with a smile. "Thank you for believing me," she said. "Together, we saved the universe."
Thanks for watching my video. Make sure to like and subscribe for more Reddit stories.